Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bear Market Investments, where everything is going straight to zero. In today's video, Serious Talk, we'll discuss the SEC dropping its lawsuit against Coinbase stock, investment analyst price targets on Coinbase stock, and then we'll move into the charts. Just to save everyone some time, if you don't want to watch the whole entire video, yes, I still believe we are in a bull market. So if you want to click off the video, go ahead. But for the rest of us, let's do it. So, the SEC announces dismissal of civil enforcement action against Coinbase. Just to save everyone some time, I'll just summarize this article instead of reading every single word. So, basically, the SEC has announced the dismissal of its civil enforcement action against Coinbase. This decision follows the creation of the Cryptocurrency Task Force, which aims to establish a clear regulatory framework for cryptocurrency assets. Acting Chairman Mark T. Ayuda emphasized the need for a more transparent approach to cryptocurrency regulation rather than solely relying on enforcement actions. The dismissal does not reflect an assessment of the case's merits, and the SEC remains committed to protecting investors from fraud in the blockchain and cryptocurrency space. Yeah, that's a good joke, and that's definitely not going to happen. So, the last time we took a look at analyst price targets was well over a year ago. And look at that. Everybody has changed their tune on Coinbase stock. Going back to episode 1, Coinbase stock was one of the most hated stocks of all time. Probably because most investors lost their shirt in the bear market and everyone had their cheerleader pom poms on, hoping that Coinbase would become the next FTX and file for bankruptcy. Retail was bearish, and investment analysts were just as bearish. Fast forward to today, everyone is bullish. Look at these upgrades and outperform ratings on Coinbase stock. Isn't it funny? Everyone gets so bearish at the bottom, and everyone gets so bullish at the top. Take Dan Dolev from Mizuho, the most recent Coinbase stock upgrade from a neutral rating to an outperform rating, raising his price target from a bullshit $250 to a bullshit $290. Not to attack Mr. Dan Dolev, but Dan Dolev was on record saying on CNBC that Coinbase stock in 2023 was going to $30 per share and then going to near zero. So it's quite funny seeing Mr. Dan do a complete 180 on Coinbase stock. All right, who else do we have here? Mr. Oppenheimer, pretty well-respected investment firm. Unfortunately, all Asians look the same and sound the same, so I don't remember the exact name of the investment analyst, but he is Asian, he does wear glasses, and he is a senior analyst at Oppenheimer. The reason I don't put too much stock in this stock upgrade from 265 to 358 is that this Asian dude was bullish on Coinbase stock ever since it got listed on the NASDAQ exchange. This Asian guy was saying that Coinbase stock is a buy even as the price collapsed 90%. Furthermore, he was issuing buy ratings and cutting his price targets in the bear market, which makes no sense whatsoever. How can you issue a buy rating on a stock but yet constantly cut your price target? That to me makes no sense. All right, who else? Okay, Mr. Bank of America, 92 to 217. Taking a look at the date of that upgrade, it happened when Bitcoin put in its local top at 73K. So I assume Bank of America had no choice but to throw in the towel and become a bull as Bitcoin pushed through its previous all-time high. And ultimately speaking, we can all learn a very important lesson about investing and psychology right now. If you're someone who pays attention to their investments, you will have realized by now that each pump on Coinbase stock is getting smaller, smaller, and smaller. Why is that? Why is each pump on Coinbase stock getting sold off so aggressively, even though all these big institutional analysts are flipping bullish on Coinbase stock? In my opinion, if everyone is bullish, that usually means that everyone has a position. If everyone is bullish and has a position, who is left to buy shares at current prices? If everyone is bullish and has a position, who is going to push the price of Coinbase stock higher to 2K? Who? Everyone's in already, right? So, one important lesson we can learn from following Coinbase stock these past few years is that bull markets have the potential to make you rich, but bear markets is what makes you wealthy. It's very important to go buy heavy in a bear market because that is ultimately what leads to insane multipliers and you making more money than God. Honestly speaking, you will not make millions or six figures even by putting a few hundred or a few $1,000s in Coinbase stock. You are late in the market cycle, and we will see diminishing returns going forward, regardless of what investment analysts do or say. Remember one key point. Investment analysts, just like retail investors, get euphoric and bullish at the top and get pissy, bitchy, and bearish at the bottom. Okay, moving into the charts, everyone should be familiar with the Wyckoff accumulation schematic number 2, which we used to aggressively buy Coinbase stock under $100 in 2023. So what's the exact opposite of an accumulation? Well, the exact opposite of an accumulation is a distribution. Specifically speaking, I do believe we are in the early stages of Coinbase stock trading in Wyckoff distribution schematic number 1. Now, before you start panicking and thinking that I'm bearish, like I said in the beginning of the video, I believe we are in a bull market. But I also said I believe we are in the late stages of a bull market. And now I'm saying we are in the early stages of a distribution. So I still believe Coinbase stock is going to make a new all-time high. I just don't believe Coinbase stock is going to multiple thousands of dollars per share. So what are the characteristics of a distribution? Well, the exact opposite of a selling climax in an accumulation is a buying climax, BC, in a distribution. So I believe Coinbase stock put in its buying climax back in early 2024, back when Bitcoin first put in its local top at $73,000 per share. And just like in the schematic, we can see that Coinbase stock went down in a three-wave correction. Three-wave correction. So what else gives me confidence in saying that we are trading in the early stages of a distribution, or phase B in distribution schematic number 1? So this rally right here. So if you recall, back in the summer of 2024, when I believe Coinbase stock put in its SOW in phase B, which stands for sign of weakness, this was when the Japanese stock market dropped 10% in one day. This was when Bitcoin crashed down to $48,000 overnight. This was the night when your Magnificent Seven stocks gapped down 5%. Now, mind you, if you recall the videos I made in Q4 of 2024, I talked about how the third weekly hash ribbon buy signal would catapult the price of Bitcoin higher. And lo and behold, it did. Bitcoin did go from $48,000 to $109,000. Bitcoin crushed its previous all-time high and crushed through all resistance levels. Take a look at what Coinbase did instead. Coinbase not only failed to make a new all-time high, but Coinbase stock barely put in a high above its buying climax and ended up forming what I believe to be a UT, which stands for an upthrust. In a distribution schematic, after an asset class puts in an upthrust, it gets aggressively sold off, like where Coinbase stock is right now. So let's actually move into the smaller term timeframes to actually dissect why I believe Coinbase stock is still going to make a series of new all-time highs and eventually form a UTAD in phase C, which stands for an upthrust after distribution. So let's actually go into the smaller term timeframes right now. So if we zoom in to the Wyckoff distribution schematic, we can see on screen that after an asset forms a UT, it also forms a three-wave correction, very similar to the three-wave correction we have down here. Now, Coinbase stock is also trading inside the blue Fibonacci retracement support area that spans between 176 and 225. So to cut to the chase, as long as Coinbase stock holds this blue Fibonacci retracement support area between 176 and 225, as long as Coinbase stock holds these levels as support, Coinbase stock should be okay to make a new series of all-time highs, which I still believe it will. I still believe Coinbase is going to 500 plus this market cycle. So we can also use Fibonacci to determine the termination point of this three-wave correction after the upthrust. And we can use a trend-based fib extension by connecting these three pivots, right? 1, 2, 3. There we go. As you can see, Coinbase is not only finding support in the blue Fibonacci retracement support area, but Coinbase stock is also finding support at the one-to-one trend-based Fib extension. So these confluence of support levels, coupled with the fact that the cryptocurrency greed and fear index is at 10, which stands for extreme fear, gives me further confidence to say that Coinbase stock is putting in some sort of local bottom. And over the next few weeks and months, we could be seeing potentially new all-time highs for Coinbase. So as everyone starts treating themselves, I read earlier that a cryptocurrency meme trader ended up taking his own life, and some person actually made a meme coin out of that person taking his own life. I mean, I'm not going to comment about that stuff, but I think this cryptocurrency drop did put a lot of people in a very dark place, and hopefully you guys don't put a lot of your portfolio in shitcoins, because as you can see, these shitcoins can drop 90 to 99% in a matter of hours. And you are seeing an extreme reaction to that, to the point where someone actually ended up taking his own life. So please, if you are in that dark corner, in that dark space, seek help and realize that this space is just a bunch of cryptocurrency degenerate gamblers and traders who are just dumping their cryptocurrency vaporware tokens on each other. Okay, this is basically what cryptocurrency is at the moment. Okay, so moving into some bull market price targets for Coinbase stock. If you recall on the videos that I made in early 2024, we drew a trend-based Fib extension resistance area that spanned between $242 to $324. Fast forward to today, it's been a year and Coinbase stock is still struggling with that same resistance area. Now, if you recall a few minutes ago, we talked about how Bitcoin went from 48K to $109,000, breaking through all resistance levels. Now, taking a look at Coinbase stock is still struggling with the same resistance levels it faced in 2024. This is another sign of weakness and further indication that Coinbase stock is trading in the early stages of a distribution. That being said, I still believe Coinbase stock will make a new all-time high solely based off of the fact that Coinbase stock has a positive correlation with the price of Bitcoin. So if I expect Bitcoin to pump to $173,000 per coin, obviously Coinbase stock is going to follow. And if Coinbase stock can finally break through this resistance area that spans between 242 and 324, we can finally reach our bull market price targets that span between $472 and $735. So let's close this video off by taking a look at Fibonacci rings. Just a quick recap: every time Coinbase stock has crossed a Fibonacci ring, Coinbase stock has had a very volatile move. So obviously, as stated before, I still believe we are in a bull market. Therefore, when we cross the next Fibonacci ring, which should be in late March to early April, Coinbase stock will be on its way to putting in an all-time high. And finally, concluding this bull market and finalizing the Wyckoff distribution schematic. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.